Zoe, hi. Shame stabbed him below the ribcage as he noticed how thin and pale she appeared, how far away her gaze. There had always been a wholesome sheen about Zoe, with her golden hair and rosy cheeks, but today she bore the dull skin and deadened expression of someone who'd just clawed her way through the worst weeks of her life. "Hello, Bea," Dan added weakly when Zoe didn't answer immediately. "Hello," muttered Bea, eyes damp. Then her lower lip slid out, pink and quivering, as she stamped a foot back in argument mode. "But why not, Mummy?" she pouted. Ignoring her, Zoe gave Dan an unfriendly look. "I thought you were meant to be in South America," was all she said. Dan hung his head. "Didn't go," he replied. "Obviously." His suitcase was still half-packed on the bedroom floor, where he hadn't been able to face putting away the neat piles of new shorts, t-shirts and hiking socks, although he had at least managed to claim back most of the money from the untaken flights. It seemed like a dream now, that whole itinerary he and Tiggy had discussed and planned. The mountains he'd intended to climb, the temples and jungle and beaches he thought they'd be visiting, the fiestas and full moon parties she had been so excited about. Dan's great adventure to show the world there was more to his life than spreadsheets and calculations. Typical, he hadn't even made it as far as the airport, though. Having arranged 3 months off work, he had barely been anywhere, other than the coroner's court, the crematorium, and his own miserable flat. He swallowed, aware of the awkward pause that was building between him and his sister-in-law. "So, how are you both doing?" Stupid, stupid question. Stupid, stupid man. How were they doing? It was 3 weeks since Patrick had died. They were probably doing about as abysmally as Dan, worse if anything. He'd last seen them at the funeral, after which he had borne both Zoe's gaze-avoiding reproach, "This happened on your watch," and the louder, shriller version from his mum. "I don't understand. Why did you let Patrick go off like that? Over a stupid argument. Honestly, Daniel." He had ended up repeating "sorry" and "he went before I could stop him," on a miserable kind of loop, before resorting to desperate self-defence. "Look, you know what Patrick was like. He was totally out of order, all right? I was angry." Except that this had been greeted by the pursed lips and judgmental head-shaking that was somehow worse than any yelled accusations. "Yes, and now he's dead," his mum's silence said. "Dead. And you're the one to blame." "Oh, you know," Zoe replied, voice flat. Limping along. "Bea, stop there now, come on," she added, when the little girl showed no signs of ending her grizzling. "But I want it," whined Bea, leaning against a rack of magazines. There was one with 3 plastic fairy wings attached that she kept plucking. "I want it, Mummy, very badly. Please." "No," snapped Zoe. "I've said no, and that's that. Get your hands off it before you crease the pages. You're not having it. Enough." Bea slumped against the trolley as if she'd been shot. "It's not fair," she howled, fresh tears springing from her eyes. "You're so mean to me. I hate you." You could practically hear Zoe's teeth grinding as she tried to hang on to her patience. "I said, enough." Her knuckles were white against the trolley handle, her face tightening as an elderly woman walked past and made a disapproving tut. "And I mean it. Any more, and I'll get cross." Dan opened his mouth. He wanted to say, "I'm sorry." He wanted to say, "I know this is all my fault." He wanted to say, "Let me finish that shopping for you. Let me do something to help. I'll buy that magazine for Bea. I'll buy all of them."